The Wrestling Show.
The Wrestling Show.
The Rassling Show.
The Wrestling Show.
Our good friend over there at the Wrestling Show.
The Wrestling Show.
He's the Wrestling Show.
The Wrestling Show.
The Wrestling Show.
The Wrestling Show.
Whoa! Why is my video camera still on? Yeah, it's on alright. What the heck? I'll just go ahead and do it. Alright, I just got off work. Welcome to the Wrestling Show. And I just got off work and I am totally unprepared. But, luckily, I have a bag. So we can do an unbagging little segment first.
Epic Unbagging.
Okay, look. Got a light, little portable light for reading. That's awesome. Back to the Future. Great movie and, yeah. A pen! I give this 4 stars. It was like $8, but it writes really smooth. Not like those crappy Bic pens that like kind of smudge and they like get dark and then they get light. This is like solid. Car plastic protectant stuff makes it black instead of faded. A Felix the Cat t-shirt. Some of you may be too young, but Felix the Cat was a cartoon, both I believe in the 70s and 90s. Had some video games. Felix the Cat was awesome, him and his magical bag. And check him out on YouTube. And then trail mix, but it's like s'mores, so that is awesome. Okay, thank you for joining me for the Wrestling Show, which emulates today live from a parking lot. I left my camera on, as you know, and I just said, so here we are. Today's episode is brought to you by Cherry Coke and Totally Unpreparedness, the stand-up thing for WWE. The latest is the Secretary of State in Connecticut was like, if the voters show up with WWE t-shirts, they won't be allowed to vote, or they'll have to change or something. I don't even know why he threw that statement out there, unless one of his aides or somebody else misheard him and then put it out there and then the media got a hold of it. Because I can't imagine being a secretary of a state or any kind of government official. To be a government official, you at least have to have an IQ, I believe, of at least 80. So you'd think, well, why would I say something? Even if you believe that, why would you say, hey, I'm going to make sure... where was I going at with this? Basically, why would you say such a dumb statement knowing you're going to get caught in it and you know it's just going to be reversed? I mean, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever. You should be able to vote just because you're wearing a certain t-shirt. It's just dumb. Basically, he backed down. Vince McMahon brought a suit against him. This whole thing is brought about because Linda McMahon's running for Senate in Connecticut, and the Democrats in Connecticut. Connecticut is usually Democratic, you know, a Democratic state as far as the Democratic Party, you know. Usually the Democrats run Connecticut. It's not a very red state, which would be Republicans, conservatives. So anyway, the Democrats basically are trying everything in their book to besmirch Linda McMahon. Now the WWE has many downfalls, but most of them are from a wrestling fan's perspective. Like, you know, the wrestling content. You know how we complain about WWE. Well, we as in most of you. I don't as much, but I can see how you can complain. But yeah, they're mostly making claims on how they treat the workers and such. I'm going to give you a link to ADTV, and they pretty much go over the allegations and do a nice little rebuttal. So yeah, UFC 121. Taker confronted Lesnar. Was this a setup? No, I believe he was just there. But I think he was trying to start something because he kept looking over there, and the fact that he's Undertaker, so of course he makes some money. That's probably, but the fact that he situated himself, you know, right in that, the walkway and in the front, and I don't know, I think he was trying to start something. It's publicity. It's good to be able to make the fans keep guessing. You know, in the age of the internet, you gotta keep them guessing. Lucha Libre USA returning to MTV2. I watched some of this, and hold on a second. Always come prepared, even in my car. you know, I watched Lucha Libre too. Some of the episodes. It's kind of cool. It's definitely better than Wrestling Society X or like Wrestlicious. Well, everything's better than Wrestlicious. But it wasn't that bad. I mean, it has to be Americanized somewhat, and you know, there's some decent wrestling. I mean, I recommend watching it, but I didn't, you know, like a lot of people in the YWC, they'll just stare at a show, get out their little notepad, like, I don't like how he blinked his eye. I mean, I could see watching the show and just taking some mental notes or even some written notes, but you people probably just stare at the TV till your eyeballs, you know, the fluid dries up and your eyes are burning because you just stare intently. Must criticize everything. How am I going, you know, how's his eyebrows going to relate to my star ratings 3 1/8? I am just saying. Harvey Whippleman, happy birthday, it's your birthday. He's the only man to win the women's title. Therefore, getting rid of the argument that women's wrestling is dead. Apparently it died over 10 years ago when Harvey Whippleman won it. He managed like Kamala, Giant Gonzalez. Basically, he managed a lot of the dudes that jobbed to the Taker. And by jobbed, I mean because they suck, so of course they're going to job to him. He also managed Bertha Faye, so that's something. Then finally, does anyone know what happened to either Beth Phoenix or Monty Brown? Now I know Beth Phoenix got injured, but has anyone heard anything about her status? And Monty Brown, Marcus Cohen Vaughn, or whatever they call him in ECW. What's he doing? Did he just quit wrestling altogether, or what? I mean, I'd just like to know. Thank you all for joining me for the Rassling Show.
3 ducks, quack, quack, quack. 3 birds of a feather, quack, quack, quack. 2 wide awake, quack.